All right. Hello. Good evening. Good morning to everybody around the world. This is Young Reech Capital starting off the live stream with beautiful end to the week on Bitcoin with the price action showing thriller crazy momentum. We're just looking at a quick short trade right now on BTC. Pre-trade is preparations are done. I'm gonna switch it up to a live trade in progress. There we go. And it's all done. Basically, what the logic behind this trade was, we have two trend lines, out of which we've had a couple of retests right here. And then once we completed this retest, we had a break of both these trend lines. Usually, it's just the one trend line where the trade usually tries to retest, but we have also broken the second trend line as well. And this trend line is the trend line from yesterday's New York session, right? The beginning of this trend line is right here. So what we're looking at essentially is a break and retest of this trend line, also this trend line right here. So we're essentially retesting this zone trend line, and we are just looking to get a quick, as I say, quick one, a 2 1 is to 2 risk to reward. I'm also going to put in my standard disclaimer of market is volatile, trade accordingly. So this would be my suggestion for the market participants to trade according to very simple strategy of simple trend line break and retests. There we go. Let me clear up the chart a bit so that we can see it better. All right, there we go. So basically what we're seeing is something that I wanted to show everybody on the stream, which is precisely why I went short right here. And I was looking to take a short because of one simple reason, being this right here. If you notice, let me complete it. So this is what I was prepping for the trade on a different chart, and now I want to show it to you on this chart, right? So if you notice, let me use the same color trend. All right. So what we're seeing here essentially is, you could say, a formation of an equal high, excuse me, equal high formation and lower highs on the RSI. But I wouldn't call this an equal high because this is slightly lower, just a tad bit lower. Regardless, this is a divergence. So it's what's known as a bearish divergence, right? So because of such a situation, also additionally, we have had higher lows formations and lower lows formations right here and here. So there are plenty of reasons why the market is giving out a signal of short opportunity right here, is because of these simple things, divergence formations. And of course, I love to use simple trend line break and retest opportunities, which is why I had set up this as soon as we went live. I initially had set trade preparation on the chart, and as soon as we had the break and retest, I changed it to a live trade in progress, which we are in right now. We've been tagged into the trade, and looks like I'm gonna start taking the trades directly on TradingView, because it looks like That's what people want more than just putting out the trade opportunity by using the long and short tool option. I'm going to start taking the trades live from next week once I set up my account with TradingView. I'm going to do that. All right. So this is what it is. If I'm not able to set up my account, I'll just trade with a paper trading account, which is still probably not going to make much of a difference. It's going to be the same because it's going to translate to a real account regardless. It's going to show us the data in real time, all the history of trades, all of it. So whether you trade with a paper trading account or with a demo trading account, it's going to translate regardless into your real account because of one main reason, and that reason being it will give you the data that you have been looking at overall. It will essentially be like a journal of all your trades, right? So once we have all that, I mean, honestly, I don't need to do that, but there is a small technical situation with TradingView and the exchange that I use, which is the Delta exchange. They do not have the option to trade directly from the TradingView chart. And I do not want to pull up the Delta exchange chart on the live stream. I'd rather do it from TradingView because I have a lot more options, and also I have a lot more tools to work with. So that's precisely why I use TradingView directly. I do also have an option to use Binance to trade with as well. Could do that, but I just recently shifted from Binance to Delta Exchange. Slightly easier for me to trade from an Indian exchange directly rather than an exchange that is not based in India. Anyway, Binance is absolutely one of the best exchanges, no doubt. They have a really classy interface, lovely interface. There's no doubt about it. They have one of the best interface UI for all traders out there. So yeah, this is what it is. And there we go. We're getting a retest into the entry zone right here. This is what I was waiting for. Getting a retest. So could look to place positions in here. I'm going to be looking to add to my position into in these zones, essentially the zone right here. And if we start trading into this slightly, I'm probably going to give my trade a bit more room like I did the other day. I'm going to end up moving my stops just above this high. And at that moment, I would start trailing my TP in this situation because the market is a bit dynamic today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up like this, right? I'm going to target these highs right here. So let's set it up like so. All right, that's going to give us a 1.6 RR. All right, and we do have some breathing room of stop loss area out here. My stops are just going to be, it's going to be just exactly at this high, which honestly I don't think the market is going to go and take out. It is super exhausted, I'll be really honest, especially Ethereum. Look at Ethereum. Ethereum is just going all the way down now. But it is absolutely warranted for the Ethereum to do that because just take a look at this move. This is something else. This was from Wednesday all the way to today. We hit a 38, a 40% move on Ethereum. Ethereum literally has melted the chart after a long, long time. Glad to see it happen, no doubt. Very clean move on Ethereum. But it's time for the market to now start moving in a much more corrective formation so that there can be a slight retest and reset in the price. It's always healthy for the market to do that. And do not fear when something like that happens because what goes up must come down and what goes down must go up. In a standard market situation, that is the dynamic. And when the market is not going up or down, we're essentially going to trend sideways, which is also known as a range, right? We've broken out of a massive range on Bitcoin, which is, I pull up the 15-minute chart, you can see we were trading inside of this range right here for about, let's say, I want to say about a week to 2 weeks. I would estimate this is a range of about 2 weeks, right? And prior to that, we had an even larger range, which I did discuss in almost all my live streams. Is we were inside this massive range, which we did break out of right here. Huge range breakout. So we are absolutely bullish on Bitcoin. And also, I did have some bearish thesis that I had printed out and pointed out actually on my live streams. This was, I think, during the April 25th, April 28th live stream when we were getting this breakout out here. Essentially, this breakout. The May 1st, May 2nd breakout when we had was, excuse me, the May 7th breakout right here. When we were here, I started observing the potential scenario of a liquidity sweep and in general the move into the golden pocket on the higher time frame, especially on the 1 day chart. As I said, we were definitely looking like this. So if I so I'm gonna have to pull up a different chart because we do have a bunch of things that I have put out of the chart, so I don't want to get rid of that right now. To go into a different chart. All right, this is a clean chart. Okay, let me pull up the daily. Boom! Look at that. This is the chart that I had marked out my levels, and I did say that we were going to get some resistance, which we did, right? We did get some resistance out here. We had a couple of days, 1, 2, 3 days to the downside here. Very small move though, nothing too great. I was expecting a move to at least these zones, which we did not get, right? Also, I did mention another fact that if we did move all the way up, we get a massive candle to the upside, which we have now received, which was yesterday's candle. We've moved to the upside. That would then invalidate my bearish thesis, right? Of this move of 95,000 being the resistance and then the price coming back down. Now, since we have done this, it now brings up two situations on the chart, right? One is we still have not invalidated the golden pocket scenario. Why? Let me show you why. Exactly why. Because of one main reason. If I pull up the Fibonacci 0.786 level, which is an absolute key level on Fibonacci, right? The 0.786 is going to be a key level, which is where we are right now, the 0.786. We are around that area. We are not precisely at that area, we're slightly above it. Regardless, if we're looking for a bearish situation, right now we're still very much within a danger zone, right? I would consider this entire zone essentially any price below 106,000. So I'm going to put a call out here, right? Price label. I'm going to set up a label right here. So this label that I have set up here, the $106,000, is going to be an absolute smacker of a price. Why? Let me tell you why. Simple reason why. Because it is the zero point 0.9 level on the Fibonacci series. Also, it is going to coincide with this order block. It is going to be our daily order block, which is also known as a supply zone, right? Let me just name it as supply. Change up the color to red because, as everybody is familiar, red is the color of resistance, danger, whatever. Anyway, so as you can see very clearly, we are rejecting at this block, which is the higher time frame. We are on the daily chart, so we are rejecting, and this is a beautiful supply zone. And also, as I said, it coincides with the 106,000 level, which is the point 0.9 level of the Fibonacci. Right, so this is another reason to be bearish out here. There's no reason to be bullish here at all. Absolutely not. There is no reason to be bullish here because, as I said, as I had very clearly mentioned, that once we start breaking out of this trend line, we're going to get a massive move, and we actually did get a massive move. And I also said that we would get a move to the 95,000 region, which is the 15-16%. And I had called this out in it was here. I think we were out here on the on 15th of April when we had this red candle come through, right? I still remember very clearly on this 15th of April we had this candle move, and I said we are probably going to start breaking out, and once we get a candle close above this trend line, which we did right here. I mean, I've not drawn the trend line precisely, but you get the idea anyway. So once I said we have this potential scenario of a trendline break, also potential bullish divergence formations on the RSI, plenty of reasons to be bullish in this region right here. And what did the price do after we consolidated here? And I gave you many signals that the price was going to rally up to this zone. I do also have, if you pull up my Twitter page, right, you will find the Just for Love series, which I have pinned on my page, which will show you a potential a prediction that I had drawn out on the chart. And I had drawn exactly something like this, precisely something like this. And I mean, I also, I think, probably gave some room for a retracement into the 80K region after we hit the zone, which we didn't really get that retracement that pretty much everybody was waiting for, right? In at the zone. As soon as we hit the zone, I think everybody was waiting for this retracement, or at least a retracement into this fair value right here, which we didn't even get that retracement. So rest assured, we will get a retracement into this fair value sooner rather than later. That's gonna come into the zone. Absolutely gonna come into the zone. I will guarantee you that something like this is gonna happen. Gonna get an inducement of this high, possibly, and then we're gonna come back into our zone, which is the 83,537.34.7. Excuse me. Anyway, this is gonna be our buy. The prices are definitely gonna come back here. Mark my words. Just take a look at this chart. We are probably going to reject here. We might slightly tap into this. Maybe this could be a scenario that plays out, but I don't think that's going to happen. Might chop around here for a little bit, maybe, and then come back down. This could be another scenario, but let me tell you, this is our final zone of resistance. We are not going to go up from here. I'm quite certain of that. I was a bit certain of that out here, but looks like the price did get front run. And I did also point out a scenario where there could be a situation where the price goes above this level and creates a massive candle up to the upside. And I did also point out at that moment that we had this level of the point 0.9, which would essentially invalidate our bearish situation. So even now, right, I'm even though I am like 95% bearish, I'm still going to keep 5% as my invalidation. I'm always going to keep some room for error because that is how the market works. And this is my error number, right? 106, 400, 411.6, if you want to be precise, right? So this is going to be essentially my invalidation on Bitcoin. So if the price starts going above this zone, then I know for a fact that the price wants to rally even further. And we are definitely not going to get all of these prices that I pointed out, right? Anytime soon. If we start moving above the zone, then we are definitely going to invalidate the thesis of a bearish scenario coming back down. And don't get me wrong, we're not going to come down and go all the way down to $5 on Bitcoin. Absolutely not. This is going to be a simple retest. of previous key levels, right? All of these range high, range low, resistance zone, an order block that has been converted now into a breaker block. Plenty of key levels available on Bitcoin to the downside now, where you can make these buy opportunities. Absolutely lovely areas to buy. Now, I would say is not a good time to buy because, as I said, we are at a zone of resistance, massive resistance. So let's just take it easy, calm down, and wait for the price to show some amount of structure. Once we do that, then we have an opportunity to then look for some potential trades to the upside. At the moment, I would recommend looking at some shorts. Short opportunities is where it's at. Trying to look for a swing trade. Could look to place your stop loss right above this high and target this fair value gap right here. That would give you a 3 hour trade, 3.5, 3.6 hour. That's a massive trade, man. Let me tell you, that's a 3.6 hour trade right here for a swing trade on Bitcoin. You have your invalidation of 106. And to be honest, I don't think there is going to be a liquidity sweep above this. The bears are going to defend this all-time high for sure. Absolutely, unless there's a scenario which is also let me give you another scenario as well, right? I like to point and clear out and provide all types of scenarios that can be available for the market. For example, this is a scenario where there is something known as a swing failure pattern, a liquidity sweep, whatever, front running the price just to take stop losses and then bring the price back in the momentum that it was intending to go initially. At the moment, the price is going to show some bearish situation. We're going to come back into this breaker block. All right. And then we might kind of come back into this. Possible. Then the market can induce the participants to go long here once we break all time high of 109K. Just go into that 110, 112, maybe 114, 15, or maybe we hit 120K. Oh, big deal, man. All right, we hit it, we go up to 120K, and then boom, we induce the market participants to go long in the zone, and then that's it. We're back to the 70K, 76K region. So these are all potential Wyckoff distribution scenarios, right? These are all Wyckoff distribution scenarios that can happen, which is what the market likes to do. Why? Let me show you why. Right, if I pull up the previous chart, it's exactly what happened here during this bull market. This is what is known as a swing failure pattern. Of course, we didn't go as far as a major move all the way up. We just kind of went a bit above the previous high, which was at 60,000, right? 63, and then we went into the 69K. We went like about 5K higher than the previous price. And this is what is known as an inducement right here. This is known as an inducement. It is inducing the participants to go towards the direction that the price is showing you. But in reality, the price is essentially tricking the participants into going a certain direction where the trick lies in the price action going the opposite way and taking out the participants in a derogatory manner. I would say that's the best word for a lack of a better word. All of this to be see, if you take a look right here, as I've this line that I've drawn here is where the stop losses would have been placed for the people who went long on this breakout, right? And then boom, just take a look at this massive dump right here. This dump cleared every single one who had gone long here. Then the rest is history. People who were part of this know everything about this market. Part of this. I don't even have a word for this bear market. It was so nasty. It was so displeasing. I mean, we can use plenty of words to describe this bear market. But yeah, it made some really strong traders, including myself, right here. This bear market was the test of all traders in the crypto market. People who were part of this bear market and continued to be part of it all the way up to this 100K level, trust me, are going to be the gangsters of the crypto market for the foreseeable future. There was nothing. I don't think there'll be any scenario like this ever in the market ever again. For example, this kind of a market, it was so difficult to trade this. Even the most high level, pro level traders found it difficult to trade this bear market. Oh man, it was absolute chaos. But we got through it, and we found the light at the end of the tunnel and figured it out. And look at the beautiful reward that the traders got repaid with. Massive move to the upside. So all of this that we're seeing, these are all just minor dumps in the scheme of the bigger picture, So I would just say take it easy, relax, and pay attention to what previous price action has indicated, and usually almost always repeats itself. And as I was saying, this is something similar to what could happen. We have this all-time high formation right here. Get this out of the way. All right. We have this all-time high of 109K. If at all the price wants to continue to go up, we might get a sweep, go into the 115K, boom, boom, and then we're back down. There's no scenario in the world where we're going to go into 150K, 200K right away. It's not going to happen. Absolutely not. Going to have to do something where the price cools off, collects some more liquidity. Yeah, then we can go up in a much more healthy way other than just going up all the time, which is not healthy at all. There won't be any juice left for the market to extend and continue its move. So that's precisely why something like that is possible. Anyway, we have another additional fair value forming here. After this today's daily candle closes, we will get to know what the situation is. To be honest, I might expect the price to come into the zone very soon. It might wick into this and then go back up. Possible. Oh man, there are plenty of scenarios available. So I'm just going to stop introspecting on all these things and like doing necessary price predictions for now. I'm just going to keep it real and I'm going to keep it simple. We are at a resistance. Yet again, after this, we broke this resistance. We're at another very massive resistance zone. So we're going to be looking for shorts, not going to be looking for any longs. Maybe scalp longs, but no swing longs. Swing shorts is the only way to go right now. And yeah, until we break this trend, we shall see what happens. But we can keep taking quick scalps out here. Scalp shorts, scalp longs, everything available in this market right now. Beautiful price action going on. Right, so that's what we have. Then what else do we have going on? We have this trend line, as I mentioned. So there are plenty of reasons to be bullish in this situation right now, but I'm personally not going to be bullish. I have not been bullish ever since this level, right? I was slightly bullish here once we rejected off of all of this, and then I saw this potential on this candle. I became bullish right here, right? Because when I saw a retest of this trend line formation, it was forming a trend line, right? It was the formation of a trend line. This was the initial trend line. Then what we did was we broke down from it, thinking that the price would go down, faked a bunch of people out of the market. Then we closed bullish after we broke down from this candle. We closed above this breakdown candle, which is definitely a bullish sign, right? Right here. This was where I went bullish. And then beautiful one day candle yesterday. That's it, simple as that. Now I'm going to be looking at a trend line breach or a move to the downside. That's it, simple, simple, simple. But overall, not going to be taking any swing trades. I'm going to be pretty much scalping through all of this because this is a beautiful environment, lovely price action to be scalping. All right, so that's what we have on Bitcoin. These are going to be your key levels. Let me drop another price call out right here. Oh, I've already have it set up, the 94K. This is going to be another level right here. Boom, the 98K. So this is going to be a new key level. Of course, you have this, you have this, you have this, and you have the 94K. This out here. Boom, boom, boom. Let me change the color. Looks like I confuse people. Right, so these four levels, it's going to be another fifth level as well out here. Okay, bring that into this situation. Boom, there we go. One, two, three, four, five. These five levels are going to be key on Bitcoin. Mark it out and trade accordingly, trade safely, and take it easy. Cool. Let's get back to our trade and see what's going on. All right. As I said, we are going to be retesting the upper trend line as well. Exactly what we're doing right now. And this is going to be our invalidation, this high right here. And as soon as we come into this, hoping to fully flush the market down into these highs right here. Simple. The market starts going above this trend line. I'm going to look to take a long here. Simple. Quick scalps. In and out. Boom. Small, as I mentioned, trade accordingly with the low capital because the market is volatile. Simple. Don't go in with a massive capital right here because yeah, we are at resistance. So take it easy. Trade with the low capital. I've been trading with the low capital. I did get wrapped up yesterday. I messed up with a couple of trades because of I did follow my routine, usual standard stuff, but I did get messed up. I think a bunch of other traders got messed up here as well because of this choppy price action. So I decided today to wait for some structure to form and then trade accordingly. So what I did essentially was look for a potential trade at this Fibonacci level. I placed myself a bit earlier. I like to do that on my own personal trading account. It's myself out here. I do have a trade from up here. And for the live stream, I don't like to place my trades into these levels because as you very well know, the market during the New York Open is very volatile. So I like the market to show some structure after the New York Opens, then trade based on structure. So I'm going to be looking to maybe add some positions out here as well. This is another possible golden pocket scenario. So I would average my position into this zone right here. Right now our entry is at 102. Is it? All right, yeah. So this is our position right now at 102.9k. What I'm going to be looking forward to doing is also an additional thing. My stop loss just here. I'm going to look to add to a position right here. So I'm going to start doing that with live trades taken on the trading view chart from Monday onwards. I'm going to figure it out, see how we can do that. Anyway, so this is our situation right now with BTC. Just gonna be live for another 20 minutes and let's see how the trade plays out. In the meantime, I am also going to be talking about a couple of altcoin setups as promised. We shall talk about Peanut, 42% today, Trump token, Ondo, Popcat, Pengu, Ethereum, of course. Ethereum, one of the big runners of yesterday, crazy runner of 40% in the past 3 days. Crazy stuff. Anyway, the market is super exciting. Lovely price action going on. We're just gonna let this trade play out, and I'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, I'm back. Looks like it's taking some time for the trade to play out. In the meantime, let's quickly go over some altcoins. Peanut is doing pretty good move. Ho ho ho! That is a massive move on Peanut. Will you look at that? This is a trade that I provided on the 4th of May, 5 days, 6 days ago. 4th, I think the 3rd of May. Yeah, right here. I provided this trade here at this level. You see my call out of 14795. And just look at what a beautiful tap into the entry into this. And what a move from here. I essentially looked to take the trade up to this level, which was a 3 hour trade. And we got this massive move. Beautiful trade on Peanut. And like I said, now these are going to be resistance zones. I had marked it out. And we're going to now probably start looking to come back into these zones. This could be a potential scenario on Peanut. So these zones are going to be key zones now. But beautiful trade taken on Peanut right here. Lovely swing trade. All right, then let's take a look at Sui. What's Sui doing? Like I said again and again, I am quite accurate with my price points right here. Look at the resistance we're forming on Sui right here. So these are all going to be, I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm just going to quickly go over these levels briefly. Probably going to come back to this trend line right here. Going to tap here and then go back up. So this could be another price level that I would be looking at right about here. Change this. All right. So this is a level on Peanut. Excuse me, the Sui chart. So this is going to be another key level. And you can pause the video and mark these out on your chart. As I said, this is a resistance zone. Let me mark this out. Supply. Very clean. Now we're looking at fart coin. Okay, fart coin. As I said, we're going to come into our buying zone right here. I had marked out the zone as well on fart coin, but we didn't get our price as expected. We front ran on this price, but we did come into this zone. As I said, this was a buying zone. We did tap into it and then we went back up. Beautiful reaction at this level for a move of 45, 46%. Crazy. Then let's look at Trump. As I said on Trump as well, we're going to trade within this zone and then go back up. Beautiful. Now we're going to come back to test this, or maybe go into this and then test this. These are all possibilities. You can pause the chart, pause the stream, and then pause the video and take a look at these levels and mark it out on your chart. Then let's look at EOS. Oh, beautiful. Look at these levels on EOS that I had marked out, and how we are rejecting at this level what I had marked out with a doodle of this line, marking it out beautifully. Come back into this trend line. Let's take a look at Ondo. Same thing with Ondo as well. Beautiful rejection at this level. Possibly come back into this trend line. Almost same similar setups playing out on almost all coins. Pendle as well, same thing. Supply zone hit, rejection, coming back down. Zen. I did say Zen was not a great token to trade with, but if anybody is interested in Zen, this is a level that you could look at. As I said, we would be rejecting at this level, which we are now taking support at this trend line as well, higher time frame trend line. Dogecoin. Okay, this was my prediction, which we did not get. I'm going to get rid of this, but I do have a key level that I'd marked out here, which we are rejecting off of. All right, Solana. I don't personally trade Solana as much, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. XRP and Tau and Pengu. Okay, we'll get to these in a moment. I want to talk about Ethereum today. Ethereum is looking really, really top class. We have exhausted ourselves on Ethereum. So look for some potential retracements back into this key level and this major trend line. This could be a good zone to buy. Let me do that as well. Let me mark out a key buy zone area. Ethereum. There we go. Beautiful. This is going to be our level of support on Ethereum right here. I'm going to do a full video breakdown on Ethereum as well, since we did break out of this and I did say that 2000 was going to be a key level, and then now we also have this as our key level as well. I'm going to mark out the order block right here. Beautiful. There we go. As so clearly showing up on this level is the supply zone tap and a rejection from it to come back into this 2078 level. 2000 level we're going to come back to tap into for a potential move up. A retest on this trend line is going to be key, definitely. So going to be a key level out here. It's Ethereum. Let's go into Bitcoin and see what is happening on our trade chart. There we go. It did say we're going to get a retest of this trend line. I think we're going to have a full clear move to the full TP at 101k right here. All we have to do is wait and see what happens. Lovely trade. End of the week, Friday. Let's see how the weekend plays out. And I will be back on Monday during the New York Open as well to search for some more potential trades. To be honest, I think this trade is going to play out quite easily and we're going to tap into the zone soon. Hopefully, it happens in the next couple of minutes. Even if it doesn't, I'm quite certain we're going to hit our TP right here. You could look to add to a position once we break this level as well for a retest and then back down. At the moment, this is also a good place to place a short trade. I did take some trades out here. I've taken a short here as well. I did take a short here as well. So today was a day of shorting the market. Did not long. I've only been looking for shorts on BTC and Ethereum as well. So Ethereum is also a beautiful short opportunity. Could look to short this and fade all the way into the 2000, which would give you a move of 8%. Huge move. But also look to take profits as soon as possible because Ethereum is bullish. So trade safely with Ethereum. Bitcoin overall is definitely looking a bit bearish now. Started seeing bunch of strong rejections happening. So can look to fade into this level, which is the 100k level right here. It's going to be a good area of support right here. All right, this was a good stream. I will be back on Monday at New York Open. Hope you all have a great weekend. Please trade safely and take care of yourselves. I will then see you all on the next one. This is Young Reech Capital.